Yeah, well, hello there, folks. Welcome back to my channel. Hope each and every one of you are still truly well and blessed by our Lord and Savior. So yeah, as you can see, a nice blue sky. No man, I'm lying, we're checking the bike. Okay, we'll get to the bike just now. Check, I got my shade boards on. Nice blue sky, cold winter's day here in South Africa. At least the sun is shining today. So yeah, what are we doing? Oh yeah, we are on the blue bike. I know I said in the previous video we'll probably want to be working on the yellow bike, but yeah, we need to finish the blue bike, get it started and everything, so you guys can see the end results. So yeah, enough of me yapping, let's get this video going. Okay folks, before we start the video, you know how it goes. Quick shout out to all the members of the channel. One new, Leonard Lampkin, member that came in on the live chat, that won a membership on the live chat. And then Agent 45 Jigsaw, one of the first people that bought merch that was a member. Well, he upgraded to Nitro, so his name is Sebastian. Thank you, my man. It helps a lot, and thank you a lot. So he upgraded from normal aspirated to Nitro. So yeah, and then all the other people still here, thank you all a hell of a lot. It means a lot. And remember, in the live chat, if you win, all these people has won memberships. So yeah, join in the live chat. It is on right now. You can ask me anything about the bike or what's going on or life in general, how flat the earth is, who knows, whatever tickles your fancy. So yeah, let's get on with this video. Okay folks, so in an attempt not to make this video 6 hours long, I did a lot of things off camera, but I still need to show you what I did, otherwise how would you know? How would you know? Alright, I think best thing to do is let's start up in the front. You see the water tank. Oh, there's gauges. All right, we'll get to that now. Water pipe is connected. It goes through the powder coated cover. Ooh, what's that? Psalm 107 verse 29. Go check it out. It has something to do with this whole setup. But yeah, there this pipe goes. Makes a U-turn, goes through this one-way valve, or not one-way valve, but it's like a tap or a close-off valve. Stop the water from seeping into the pump. Comes out the other side, goes to the pump. Pump goes to the water meth. That's done. That's connected. That's finished. Still need to put the breather pipe on, but I will do that. If you check here on the back side, you will see boost line is fitted, and this vacuum, or not vacuum line, but other line is fitted. You look from the front, I installed the boost gauge. I used the original rubber grommets tabs, so don't really need to see the boost gauge, but just for reference, there she is. And then this one is, if we go back to here, the nose bottle. Well, it's just CO2, but so once I start opening the tap, that's just to show me if I've got air for the air shifter. So yeah, if I forget it, I can see there's no pressure there, and yeah, Bob's your uncle, I know what to do. Then what I did was I covered all of the wiring, or not covered, but closed it up. See, this one isn't lucky connected. I will sort that out. Fitted the ECU master in the place where the CDI used to be, and it is now nice and tight in place. So that's all done. what else did we do? Oh, we removed it was over the year, water temperature sensor that was on the ice well. So completely removed that out of the system, not needing that anymore. And then also I've got one channel that I'm also not using anymore, or not using, but we can use it for something else. So removed that from the system, closed up all the wiring. Only wiring I have left to do is this over here. It's just the plugs for that ice well dash. So need to take the ref counter wire out, the lights for the display. That's pretty much it. This gray wire going over here is still the speedo wire, speed sensor over here. This side goes to there, so still need to route it into place. You saw all that. The reason the mud guard is on at the moment is I needed to check the clearance at the top before I fill up these holes, and you check there, the clearance in front is more than at the top, and if you go to the back side, yeah, there's almost no clearance. I also cut it a bit. I'm probably gonna extend this line upwards and cut it off because it's so close to the back wheel. So yeah, did that. I did tell you about the gauges that's installed. Pretty much, I don't know what else I did off camera. All the lines are connected, so the water and everything is in its place. Still want to change that bell at the bottom. Not going to do that now. What are we going to do? We need to service this bike. Oil is already drained, so let me show you quickly. I wish I was sponsored by all of these guys, but yeah, got a lot of wind stuff, and yeah, I wish Shell would sponsor me, but yeah, they didn't have the big blue bottles, the bike one. You check there, AX7. So got lots of blue ones. So we're quickly gonna also change the oil, put the Evans in the radiator. So yeah, one more step closer to being able to start the bike. I will just check this in front. What's left to do? We need to finish up with that tank. I'll quickly show you just highlights on the tank, what I did, plus minus give or take. Then we can fit the tank back in, make sure there's fuel pressure. Oh yeah, one more thing. I did put a nice button head 12 by 1.5 in, and if you can check at the bottom, there is a brass washer in. So yeah, pretty much that's it. One more thing, I don't know if you saw that, that's my knock sensor, and you will see it's puttied to the head, not puttied, I don't know what you call that. So yeah, to make sure it picks up everything. Oh, that was a mouthful, eh? Alright, so I said a lot now. Let's move to the fuel tank. I'll show you quickly what I did there. It's actually a piece of art. And then we can get that reinstalled and get this bike close to started. Okay, let's get going. Yeah, so folks, I don't really want to waste your time showing you how I build brackets and stuff. That's an everyday job, anyone can do it. I'll just give you the highlights. So I tapped this fuel rail, made a hole in it, tapped it to 8mm, put a stud in. I'm gonna have to put a longer one in, but no worries. I made this piece of aluminum, so it goes over and onto the stud, and then I just have to weld it to that bracket. So I'll mark it and everything now. You will see there's a gap because there's a little wedge going in that gets welded on both sides, like just to make it stronger. But yeah, this is just for you to see how it's gonna look. And yeah, I'll show you again when it's done. You can see the end product. Okay, let me continue here. Okay folks, my bracket is built. I know it looks a bit bad at the moment, but this aluminum is much softer, so it melted much more. But I'll give it a quick clean with the grinder and I'll show you, and then we are ready to start building this fuel system setup thingamajig. Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay, and this is what it looks like after it's been grinded, sanded, not polished, but just finished off. So yeah, now let's assemble this beast. Check out the pumps and stuff, look in it. Yeah, so you saw the bracket and what I did to the bracket and how I cleaned the bracket, and yeah, look at this. This is like a work of art. The only issue I have with this whole setup is I had to extend the positive wires a bit. That's the only issue I've got, and I used these lugs I got with the pumps because they can go into fuel. Although this bike runs on ethanol, hopefully they don't deteriorate. But yeah, let me show you this work of art. Two pumps, two 450 liter an hour pumps. All right, so they pump into a fuel rail. Fuel rail is now fitted to this bracket I fitted with a spacer to keep it nice and square on the pumps. Pumps are tied into the bottom on this side. Pumps can't go anywhere, fuel rail can't go anywhere. Two pumps, earth, two earths connected. So this whole system is earthed. Obviously two positives because both pumps don't run all the time. One pump runs, and if the second pump is necessary, the ECU master switches it on by itself. Okay, so fuel rail, one outlet. Now you would say, but if only one pump is running, won't it return through the pump? No, these pumps have one-way valves at the top. So if only one is running, the fuel can't pump through the other pump. All right, quick and easy. So fuel comes from here all around. Let me turn it. Goes in here to the fuel pressure regulator. Fuel pressure regulator you can actually set through the top where we put the ethanol in. Goes through, you set it. On the other side comes out, goes up through this nice little thick pipe to the top. And vacuum is that nice pipe at the top, goes around to the bottom into the fuel pressure regulator. The fuel that's not used comes out at the bottom and returns to the bottom. Slap bang in the middle. So yeah, the only thing I still need to do here is I just need to put the two filters on the top. I'll only do that once I install it into the tank. I quickly gonna have to make a new gasket because the gasket that was on there we buggered up. It's just Valamoids, 2 or 3 sheets of Valamoids, and yeah, then the tank is done. Turn it a bit again. This thing is really, oh, and I can't take any credit for this whole setup. Shane built this. I only came and, well, put the different pumps in and welded that bracket on and yeah, connected everything. But this whole setup, Shane built, it works very beautifully. You may ask, yeah, but why put the fuel pressure regulator inside the tank? Because it runs on ethanol. You don't want 110 pipes everywhere, coming back, going out, coming back. So yeah, all these plastic pipes are ethanol rated, and the less you have, the better it is. So that is why the pumps pump into like a fuel rail, and straight from there into the regulator, straight from there out to the injectors. All right, I said it a lot, and yeah, oh yeah, another thing, I shortened this pipe already, you check there. So we did clean out this filter. I did use the ultrasonic, but I must say that throttle body cleaner from Wins actually did a better job for me. So yeah, I did shorten the pipe by 100 mils. I didn't show you that. I'm just showing you the end results. So yeah, we'll be reinstalling this, reinstalling that, and yeah, close to getting this bike started. Okay, let me fit those filters, make that gasket, and get this thing done. Okay, tea bags installed, everything installed, gaskets, there is 2, I don't know if you can see it, made. Tank is clean on the inside, so yeah, time to install this whole like a setup, and then we can give the tank a nice like a clean or something in that line. Okay, so turn it, going through. Okay, this is gonna take some finagling, but I'll show you now because I need to get those tea bags there in the bottom. There's just a little space for them to go through, but I'll show you just now. I'll close up the tank, give it a quick clean, and then I'll show you. Okay, folks, as you can see, it's not in yet. I didn't want to tell you, but I think I'd share it with you because which was supposed to be a 5-second job, me putting that in and cleaning up the tank and showing you everything, turned into, it's now 2 hours later. So yeah, what happened? Why am I still holding the whole assembly in my hand? Well, if you go back and you are a keen observer, you will see there's a new hole. That one was the original, and I made another one. So once I installed this whole setup in the tank, I didn't leave enough clearance for these tea bags. Sucks to be me, eh? So yeah, took it out, thought, all right, I can just shave this bracket on the top end. Shaved it, so now it's not enough. Moved the hole. Once I moved the hole, this bracket was hitting here on top, so I had to disassemble the whole thing. You will see there's a black line. Shaved all of that off, at least a fat line like that. So yeah, sorry. Now, finally, if I put it in the tank, it fits the way it should. If I don't forget any, oh my soul. Just hold it like this. So you have to turn the whole setup to get it in. But yeah, now you can see it is in. Problem. One more problem. One last problem. I will do all I said. This, the adjusting nut for the fuel pressure regulator, doesn't need to be adjusted at the moment, but as luck will have it, if you can see there, she's hitting the cap. So once I put the cap fully on, that adjuster nut is hitting the cap. So yeah, one more problem. The cap is nice and thick, so I can take out at least 5, 6, 7 mils out of here to give that adjuster more room. But yeah, just one more thing. I thought I'd just show you, because normally it just looks like everything is just bolt on quick and easy, and you hit a little snag like this, 2 hours gone. And if I didn't show you, you wouldn't even know about it. Alright, so I just wanted to share that. I'll tie everything together, put all the nuts on, give the tank a clean, cut this out, and then I'll show you the tank. Alright folks, so after spending like way too much time on this thing, you will see the dish is deeper, but there's a hole now. There was a little hole, but there's a bigger one now. So it fits now, after I spend it countless hours making things and going crazy and what. So yeah, it works now, but as you can see, she's a bit difficult. And the way you operate her is not with 2 fingers like I'm doing now, because you hit the point like I just did, and yeah, she kind of like almost seizes up. So yeah, I went and spent way more time building a lovely little handle for it. So yeah, what's gonna happen is the handle goes on like that, and if I can do everything now with one hand, it goes into that hole or ties into that hole. And if I had an Allen key with me now, I could tighten it, but alright. And then we've got a nice handle to do it with. So yeah, spend too much time on one thing and spend way too much time on another thing. But the handle is nice and flush. Still need to, won't say finish it off, but polish this, and there you can check it. A lovely little handle to make life easier. Because if you're standing there next to the road, you normally never have something with you to turn this with. As I say, you use something like this, you put this into the holes and then you turn it, but yeah, now we've got this lovely little handle. I just need to tighten. So yeah, sorry for that. Next thing you'll see, this tank will be in the bike, I promise. Yeah, so while we're here back at base, quickly gonna remove all the excess wires. Out of all of these, there's only gonna be the yellow one, the red one, and the black one, and the brown one, which I'm actually gonna use. Everything else is gonna be cut out and not gonna be here anymore. And then if you know what that psalm says, and you see this mess, all right, I'll show you when it is all sorted. Wiring is boring, so I'll quickly do the wiring and just show you all the end results. Okay, so I think it's time to use one of those snaps again. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, there you can see all the wiring is nice, done, tucked into places and taken out of the way, and everything is rooted, and it just looks good. It just looks really good. So I've got one more thing left to do. I still need to sort out the ignition, figure out what I'm going to do in place of it. That's all the wires I took out and a couple of cable ties. So everything is routed. You can check up here. That's the shift lights wires. The bike turns beautifully. No issues. Still got access to the water bottle. I fitted the breather hose onto the water tank. I made the little wire bracket for the the USB of the ECU master. If I come down in front here, you can check there. There's no wires sticking out or anything strange. The grey wire down there goes at the back, goes down to the speedo, and it is connected. So yeah, everything is right and tight in its place where it's supposed to be. So I'm quickly gonna sort out the ignition, and then we can check if the top fairing still fits. Probably not gonna fit beautifully. We're gonna have to cut a bit on that headlight. Maybe, who knows, we'll see. But yeah, everything is in its place. As I say, just need to finish that ignition. Just put a switch in. Probably just gonna put the switch like up there or something. We'll see. We'll just check that now. As you can see, I told you the tank will be done. The tank is done, or not done, but it's cleaned and in place. Everything is taped close. I haven't put in the last bolts in because I still need to sand this a bit. But here's the tank's wires. I just go up here, earth if I can see what I'm doing, goes there. The one pump's positive, the second pump's positive, and the fuel feed, and yeah, the vacuum hose. And then that's also done. The tank is already connected and fully installed. The cap turned out beautifully. I gave it a nice bit of grease just on the threads because everything was dry. And you see that recess works beautifully, so we can still adjust the fuel pressure regulator. And yeah, so now when it binds up like it's doing now, you just pull it. So that was the only issue. When it binds up, you need to pull it, and you can't do it with two fingers. There, nice, closed, in place, gorgeous. All the wiring is done, everything is done. So I think best thing for me to do is quickly finish that ignition, so we can maybe put the top fairing on. If we can get the top fairing on, then we can have a look. Someone put the seat on. There's nothing left to do here. In the next video, we'll do a system check where we activate through the ECU master the water MEF system on its own. We'll sort out the ref counter. It is working, but it's working through the ECU master now. So one thing someone asked me is, what if it shows 4,000 but it's actually only revving like 3,000? Well, with the ECU master, you can give it a signal, say rev to 5,000, and then you check where it shows you, and then you can adjust it to show you where it's supposed to be. Same with the shift light. The shift light doesn't work through this, it works through the ECU master. So the shift light will also come on once I command it to come on. Same with the fuel pumps, same with everything else. So yeah, I've been talking a lot now again. Let's quickly sort out the ignition. I'll probably just put a switch on. And yeah, I won't put the hull fairing on, I'll just put the top fairing on. So we'll see how this fits with the top fairing. Okay, let's quickly do that. Yeah, so the new ignition on my bike. Here she is, just a normal on-off switch. And there's the ignition block. So out of the 6 wires, oh my soul, what am I looking at? Sorry, I'm trying to plug this in while showing you what I'm doing. And hopefully not buggering it up. But yeah, don't think that top one is in. No, definitely not in. So yeah, just 2 wires you need to connect. Okay, I'll crimp those a bit more, and I'll make a nice billet aluminum bracket for the switch to sit about there-ish. Yeah, probably in that area. So yeah, let's see if it works. Oh, you heard the pump. Let's check if the tach is working. Cool beans, so that's on. Ignition off. Cool. That's the ignition done. As I say, I'll make a nice little bracket. I'll show you maybe in the next video what I did and what I'm gonna do. So let's quickly get that top fairing and see if it still fits. Okay folks, time to see if the top fairing still fits. We modified the headlight previously. Hopefully it'll clear this area. I made enough space, but yeah, touch wood. Ignition and everything is in place. So once we put this on, yeah, we're still hoping we don't have to cut anything. So this whole setup is quick and easy. This is the lights harness. You keep it out of the way. Then inside. So the only thing you need to do is stay on the inside of the ram air. Now you can let go of that. up into place as you saw it did just now, and then everything left to do is locate. Then all you do is you plug this back in and take over there. Pops your uncle. Just look at that. So the water tank and everything clears there at the back. If you check in there, it's right up against the headlight, but it's not hitting that headlight. As far as I can see, as far as you can see, yeah, it's right next to it. Ha! Top fairing is on. Let's see if it can still turn. Obviously it will turn. There's no reason for it not to turn. So yeah, first look on how it's gonna look. What you will see when you're lying here, well, you will see a glimpse of this. I can clock it a bit more, but you will be looking that way. Nothing else you will be checking. Okay, let me put the seat on and then we can check if this tank is any lower or if it's gonna bugger me around. Okay folks, she's outside. Show you the difference the tank makes with the ref counter. I'm gonna lie down, she'll make a nice video. You'll get an idea how low I can go, and then check where the ref counter sits in relation to my face. I think I'd be able to see it. So yeah, with the previous tank it would have been something like this. Now with this tank, just look at that. This is how low I can go. Then I put my foot on and the ref counter is right in my vision and I can see the road. So yeah, kom nader met the glare. I hope you can see what I'm showing. Alright. Thank you, Telly. Alright folks, so yeah, the lower tank makes the whole setup lower. I'm gonna go back to not a double bubble but the normal screen. We will take photos with me with a helmet on to check where the screen sits in relation with the helmet, but I think that's pretty much it. If you check, if I lie the way I'm lying, you see the ref counter is right in your vision. You won't struggle to see that. So yeah, I think that's all for this video. We need to do that front mud guard and everything, and yeah, we've got the circus going by. Let me just show you quickly. So yeah, that's 9,000. I'll clock it a bit more, so 11 is more at the top. But yeah, if you're lying like this, you will definitely see that ref counter. Yeah, all right. What a video, what a video. Next video, checking everything, starting and going for a run. We still need to put the sights on, but there's nothing new on the sights, so that'll be a straight bolt on. We need to change that horn, and we still need to fix up the front mud guard. You see, that's why I make videos in my garage, because I live here in Circus Road in Welkom. Once you start making a video outside, the whole town comes by. But yeah, so if you check this front mud guard, we've got 3 fingers. So yeah, maybe we'll lower it a bit more. Well, it looks like it's gonna work. Everything looks nice and fine. Yeah, the bike looks great, eh? I think that's a gorgeous view. So yeah, if you haven't yet, like the video, drop a comment down below. If you were in the live chat, hopefully you were one of the winners of a membership to the channel. And if you're not in the live chat, remember there's live chat. It's now a bit too late, but for next time then. All right folks, may the Lord bless each and every one of you, and see you next Tuesday. Enjoy.